just charging up my camera for a bit. Now, I'm looking probably a bit worn out, guys, because I woke up at 2 and haven't been back to sleep. My under eyes are really sore as a result. So I'm probably not looking the most glowing today that I've ever done, but we shall get there. We shall get there. So I'm going to wait and say hello to you all. And actually, while I'm waiting, I shall put a bit of Airbrush Flawless spray. Now I'm interfering with my microphone, which is going to go. Let's move that so I don't interfere with it. Oh, what am I talking about? It's not plugged in. See what I do when I haven't slept? Talk nonsense. Right. Oh, that feels so refreshing, especially on my eyes. Right. I'm going to put on some Flawless Filter in shade 4.5. This is such a perfect shade for me. I'm going to have that awful delay for a while where no one joins me. And I have that awful fear that everyone's gone away and they've started watching other people live and they've lost interest in me. Now, I know a lot of you watch on replay as well. So I could still sit here and talk to myself. I just love talking. It's even better when you're here, though. Right. So, Flawless Filter in shade 4.5. Now, they brought out lots of new shades in Flawless Filter. There's a 2.5, I think. There's an 8.5. There's quite a few more darker shades. But this is perfect. Perfect shade for me. If they brought this out at the beginning, I wouldn't have shades 3, 5 and 4. I need lots of glow. So I'm going to bling it. No, it'll be beneath it. But a lot of it. Because I need some glow. See, under my eyes, I look about 80 years old. Through lack of sleep. So I thought I might do a New Year's look today, but I probably won't because my eyes are probably too sore because I was going to do something really glittery. But instead I'm going to go for classy New Year. Not overly blingy, but classy and still stunning. And I'm going to use this brush that was kindly sent to me by CBM because I'm loving it actually. And I used it and then put it in my drawer and forgotten about it. And I used it yesterday and I love the finish that it gave. It's a really lovely kabuki brush and it's really soft. And the guys at CBM sent me this for free, which was lovely. It's a really nice brush. And really easy to blend your foundation in because it's lots of dense bristles there. No one's joined me. What's going on? I shall keep going anyway. Now, I might put some over the top. Oh, hello, Stacey. I was getting worried. I've been on for 4 minutes and no one joined. And I thought, have they all given up on me? Hello, I'm glad that you joined because I've got my Dior lipstick arrived this morning and I got the Lisa Eldridge one to compare it to. I think the Lisa one is a bit darker, but I haven't tried the next one another. It only just notified you. That's probably why, see, YouTube are taking their time. So look, this is the Lisa Eldridge velvet ribbon. And now I can swatch it next to the one that you've got to give you an idea. I think it's more of a blue-red than this one. I took lots of photos before I started using it, because obviously it has the CD in the end. And I took lots of pictures before I used it. Actually, that's quite similar. Quite similar. Different formula. The Christian Dior one, the Dior one feels very creamy. Obviously, the Lisa Eldridge, you've got the darker ones. You know what the finish is like. It's like a velvet finish. It feels a little bit more powdery and velvety. But they're very similar shades. Very similar indeed. Look, really close up there. I'm going to put the Dior one on today. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I think looking close up, I would say it probably doesn't come across on here. Can you see? It's not as when I'm looking at it, I can see it a bit more. This has got more of a red. I know they're both red, but this is sort of a blue red. So it's got a little, it's a bit, you know, when you're looking at red on a colour wheel and you go one way and it's brown, you go the other way, it's blue. So the Lisa Eldridge one is slightly more towards the blue. And this one's slightly more towards the brown. So, but otherwise, very similar. Depending also on your colouring. So I've just put Flawless Filter on in shade 4.5. And I'm so delighted with this Flawless Filter because look, it is perfect match for my skin. This new shade in 4.5. Now, I was just saying before you came on, Stacey, that I got up at 2 this morning. My sleep pattern is all disrupted. So I've been awake since 2. And my eyes are really sore from lack of sleep. So I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be really flattering if I put lots of glitter on. I was planning on doing something really glittery for New Year's, but I might do that tomorrow instead because I just don't think it's going to do me any favours today because my eyes are really sensitive. But I've got something. I'm going to do something a little less glitter, not totally less glitter, but very classy glam. Okay. Right, I'm going to put on Charlotte's Flawless Foundation. I know, I loved it. I did. I had to have it. And the packaging, it comes in. Do you know what? They delivered it in a great big box. I know it comes in beautiful, like they put it in a beautiful gift bag and everything. But it was in a massive box. Couldn't get over it. Right, I'm going to just take my... Now, this is shade... Oh, I've got 7.5 neutral. I wondered why it was looking a bit pale on me yesterday. I meant to get 7 neutral because, as you know, 7 neutral is actually darker. But never mind. I'm not going to get that out now. This will do. So I'm putting 7.5 neutral on. And I'm not going to put this too near my eyes at the moment. I'm going to stipple this a bit more. I know that my skin is actually quite good at the moment, but I just feel because I haven't slept, I feel like I need more coverage. I probably don't look like I probably do under my eyes. Need like more coverage, but I just feel like I want to cover up a bit more. So I'm actually stippling it on. And also because I'm going to do quite an evening look. Now you can see now how red my eyes are in comparison. That's lack of sleep. What I'm going to try and do this afternoon is have a nice hot bath, but not nod off. Because if I do, then I won't sleep again tonight. Hello, Bushra. I'm just talking about my insomnia. How are you today? So if you're wondering why my eyes looking so red, it's because I got up at 2 in the morning. Hello there, Rebecca. Ah. Yeah, I think the notifications came through. I've been on for about 10 minutes, guys. And for about the first 5 minutes, it was a bit scary because nobody joined me. But Stacey said she only just got the notification. So I think YouTube are a little bit tardy today. So that's good. It's good to know it's not because you've all given up on me. I'm just going to put this magic away. Shall I put magic away? I'll put magic away on. It might be a little bit more flattering. So my eyes are really sore from lack of sleep. They've been stinging. So I'm not going to go, I was just saying to Stacey, I'm not going to go too mad. I might do a bit more of a mad New Year's Eve look tomorrow. But I'm going to do something evening and a bit classy. I don't want to I was going to put that gold lipstick on as a base, wasn't I? And show you that, but I'm not going to do that now because I don't think it's going to do me any favours because my eyes are so sore. It's just going to look a mess. My eyes will start streaming and it'll just look like I've chucked a load of glitter at my face. Right, let's say hello to everyone who's just joined. YouTube have finally got round to telling everyone I'm here. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Whitney. So, hello, Bushra. You'll never give up on me. Oh, thank you. Hello, Rachel. See, YouTube are so used to me being late. So I've just put on Airbrush Flawless and underneath the Flawless filter in shade 4.5, which is the perfect new shade for me. It really, look, I'm going to put a little bit more here. It really was made for my skin tone. So I'm not totally disappointed with Miss Tilbury at the moment because she made me a bespoke flawless filter. Only joking, as if. But it's as though she did. Didn't get any on there. It just matches my skin tone perfectly. I love it. And I need some flawless filter today. Right, so that's my, you know what I could do with, because my eyes have been so sore. Look at all the fine lines really showing up. I'm really conscious of it anyway. So what I'm going to do is my pain flaring up. Not really. I've had a really disturbed sleep pattern. It's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not awful. I just couldn't sleep last night. So I ended up getting up at 2 in the morning and I've been up ever since. I started to feel sleepy at 7, but then everyone started getting up and so I went past it. I'm just putting some of a mini Miracle Eye Wand on and it's got that serum one side, which is a little bit brightening because I need all the help I can get under my eyes today. And then it's got this concealer on the other side. And I think this is shade 2, yes. So I'm just going to do this just to get into the shadows. Like that. And this is great for doing that. And anywhere you've got, look, see where I've got my, it's great for chucking light where you've got lines. And then all you do is you take your finger and you give it a wiggle. I'm going to dab this. My eyes are going to wash it off in a minute. But I'll do the best that I can. And just a reminder as well, this is really good for, I know I haven't blended in my forehead lines yet. This is really good for giving you a bit of an eye lift by just doing that. And you can use it like you would use a highlighter. You can put it in here. And then with this, I just, again, wiggle my finger. Because you want to get it inside the line. And hey presto, look, no lines on my forehead. Except they're still there, but they're just, I've thrown light onto them to get rid of them. Right, let's say hello again. I'm gonna just have my cup of coffee. Tier 3 here, but might change today. Do you know what? We were under tier 2, as you know, before Christmas. And then we were the one of 3 towns in Essex to be tier 2. So everybody drove into our town to do their Christmas shopping because, of course, everyone else was in tier 4. So all the non-essential shops were closed elsewhere. They all piled into our high street and our cases have risen by 660 in the last week. And we're now in tier 4. Which is what I said, there is no point with infection control having different tiers. It won't work unless everybody is confined to their house. Right, now I'm going to put a little bit of powder on. Which one's one? I'm going to use the Fair under my eyes. I'm in a quandary. Part of me doesn't want to set this magic away because, again, that's going to bring out the fine lines and the dryness. But if I don't set it, then it's going to wash off quicker because my eyes are watering. So I'm just dabbing a little bit. And I always use shade 1 now under my eyes. And down the centre of my face. Because it just takes the yellow off the foundation. And all Charlotte's foundations are a bit yellow. Even the one she calls neutral. I'm not sure about her cool ones because I've never had one. Okay, and then I'll put on a little bit of bronzer to warm up my face and we'll get going with the eyes. Before you all came on, I was swatching Stacey, my new lipstick. I got a Dior lipstick for Stacey. I saw it on Stacey and I had to have it. Would you like to see my new lipstick by Dior? I'm a sucker for red lipstick. I'm going to put it on with this look today. So this is Airbrush Flawless Bronzer in shade 3. That makes me look a bit more alive. And let's do an eye look. Let me show you this lipstick. What have I done with it? Dior. It's a limited edition because it's got pretty kind of pattern on the outside of the lipstick. Isn't that pretty? And it came in the most beautiful gift bag. It's got little snowflakes. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but there's little glittery snowflakes on the side. So pretty. And I just watched, because Stacey wanted to see, hello Helena, Stacey wanted to see how it compared with the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Ribbon. So this is Velvet Ribbon and this is the Dior one. The Dior one is creamier and it's got a bit more of a brown undertone, which you can't really see that well on the camera. I can see it as I'm looking at it. Slightly darker, and it's a bit more towards brown on the spectrum, and this one is a bit more towards blue on the spectrum. But they're quite close. But this is a very creamy formula, whereas obviously you know Lisa Eldridge is velvet. But I just love that. I've got so many lipsticks in the sale. It's ridiculous. Right, now I'm going to do a kind of goldy, coppery and red lipstick look today because I think I can carry that off. And then tomorrow I might be brave and put that. So the idea was going to be, if my eyes hadn't been so sore, was to use this. But it really will look terrible on me at the moment. You've got to kind of adjust your makeup depending on what's going on with your skin, and my eyes are so sore it won't work. But this is the lipstick. See, it's got a bit of red because I tried it over the top of my Dior lipstick. Makes a great topper. You love your chat. It feels like old mates chatting. Lovely. Thank you, Jamie. It feels like that to me. I have to say, I was a bit nervous for the first 5 minutes when none of you joined. I thought, have I actually gone live? Or did I not press record? All of these things. But as soon as you're on, I love chatting to you all. It's great. Yeah, it was YouTube not telling you. So I'm going to do a look. I was going to use a colour chameleon, but I've just had another idea. So I thought I'd get this out today because I haven't used it for a while and I love this palette. I absolutely... Sorry, I'm pushing my camera around. I absolutely love... Hello, Claire. Oh, YouTube are being a bit lax. Never mind. I haven't done the eyes yet. So I thought I'd use the Pat McGrath, the little palette, because this is one of my favourite Pat McGraths. Let's just put this in front of that for a minute. I love this palette. This is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition. And I just thought what would go beautifully with that bronze shade underneath it and help it to stick. And I'm just going to get it. And it's the Avon Lisa Armstrong dupe of Colour Chameleons. Instead of using Charlotte's, I'm going to use this one. This is Lisa Eldridge and it's called Firecracker. They're very similar to the Colour Chameleons. that this is going to act as a beautiful base for that bronze shade in the Bronze Ambition palette. So I'm just scribbling this on, like so. These pencils you can get 2 for £16 from Avon. And the purple one is identical to Charlotte's Amethyst Aphrodisiac. And none of, like most of you couldn't spot it on Instagram when I put one on each side and asked you to tell me which side was Charlotte Tilbury. The majority got the wrong side. So they feel slightly different in texture, but I use these mainly, you can use them on their own, but I use them mainly as a base. Yes, you've been put off buying because of the weight versus the price. Now, I have ordered the last of the 3 palettes. I have to say, I kind of went, do I have to? I don't have to, but if I don't get it, it'll be the only palette I don't have. And then I'll be annoyed at myself. But it felt like a chore because I got an email back from Charlotte Tilbury. I wrote a complaint and I didn't get an explanation at all, except we're sorry you felt disappointed. We'll try and do better in the future. So I'm a bit, but what has made up for it is this. This is such a good shade for me. This has cheered me up. Yes, I ordered the 3rd quad so that I can review it for you guys, but I did feel like I was being ripped off. At least this time I knew I was being ripped off. You don't normally get a chance to join the lives, Claire. Well, welcome. What do you do after doing a live? I'm going to be watching Cary Grant films. I'm going to watch a film. I'm going to have a hot bath. I'm going to watch a film. But every time I've done that, I'm a bit worried that if I do that, I'm going to fall fast asleep. And I'm going to try and keep myself awake so I sleep this evening. You're taping them for when Ali finishes. Oh, that's nice. I love the fact that you're taping them and watching me, because you could watch me on replay. So I feel very honoured. Now I'm going to go in. We got this palette here. Oh, I hate having to show mirrors. We got this palette here, and I'm going to use this one, but I don't really want to use this one. It's too dark, but I want to do a kind of, I want to do a sculpting socket shade. So I'm going to get Daniel Sandler's, which is here. And I'm going to use that one instead, because it would be perfect. Not that one. Cedar. I'm going to use Cedar. In my socket. This is a Daniel Sandler. It's a matte sort of sculpting shade. The one in this palette that I'm using of Pat McGrath is just a little bit too dark. I don't want it that dark. I just want a nice sculpt. And Daniel's eyeshadows are so easy to blend. If you haven't checked out his website yet, do, because talking about people ripping you off, he doesn't. Ever. His stuff is so affordable and such good quality. And he's got some sets on at the moment, and I'm not getting paid for saying that. I just love the man. And he's such a nice man and so helpful. If you ever contact him with a question, he always replies. So I'm just going to take a bit of that cedar underneath. And then I'm going to take this shade that's similar to this shade in Pat McGrath's palette. This one here. And I'm just going to put it on with my finger. Love Ghost movie. Oh, yeah, Ghost is good. You know what? This is great. You're all talking about ideas for films, because I go and I tune in and I think, oh, I don't know what I fancy watching. I tell you what, I watched a really old movie the other day called Five Pennies. My dad got me into it years ago. It's got Louis Armstrong in it and Danny Kaye. It's the story of Red Nichols. And then I watched the Glenn Miller story. I love true stories. So you can see how I'm building up that kind of bronzy look. I'm going to take some of that underneath as well. It is, isn't it? And you see, if you put one of those eyeshadow pencils underneath, it really brings out the colour. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this very dark shade here and I'm going to tuck that into the corner. Especially today, because my eyes are quite sore. They're going to look even puffier and even more hooded. I'm just going to dot on a little triangle like that. And then blend it in. Just to cheat a socket. So having said that other one was too dark, it was, but this, it was too dark and too warm, this matte. I just didn't want to use that. But I don't mind building up the darkness in the corner. Now take my blending brush and I'll grab the end. Now, I've said this before, but just reminding you. If you're trying to blend something in, it's best to hold it near the end and wiggle it. If you hold it here, you're more likely to put pressure on the brush, which is more likely to leave it in one area, and it's going to be difficult to blend. Whereas if you hold it there and you wiggle, you're actually not going to be able to press as hard on the brush, which means that the colour should, in theory, blend out better. Now, my eye's been watering, which is another factor, which means sometimes the shadow sticks. And it is going to stick in this corner because you can see my eye's watering. But just thought I'd share that little tip. That was shared with me when I did my stage makeup training. And it was so useful. It was such a game changer when I was applying eyeshadow. That's just because my eye's watering. I'm not going to be able to do much about that at the moment. I'll clean that up in a minute with some concealer. Does anyone have any series recommendations? The Crown, Downton Abbey. I love The Crown and Downton Abbey. I tell you what, if you want to watch something that's a bit more light-hearted, my son got me into The Good Place. Have you seen The Good Place? It's quite funny. It's on Netflix. It's got Ted Danson in it. Oh, everyone's sharing their ideas now. Great. Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. Right, I'm going to take this. No, I'm going to get a black liner. I'm going to get my black Charlotte Tilbury liner. Now, this is my favourite, as I've said before. I'm going to repeat it for anyone that doesn't know. This is my favourite Charlotte Tilbury liner. It's one of her newer releases. But it's just really good, if I can find it. No, that's... For some reason, I'm talking about the black powder pencil. Some reason the Audrey isn't as good. Come on, black powder pencil, where are you? Excuse me a second. Have a chat amongst yourselves. I know it is in here somewhere. Classic black, there we are. Probably needs a bit of a sharpen. It is so soft and so pigmented. I love this sharpener. Not sharpener, this pencil. Because I was looking for my sharpener. Really strong black line without you having to press too hard. I'm not going to be able to get very far at that end because it's all a watery mess. I'm off. Charlotte Tilbury customer service badly let me down. What did they do to you, Whitney? Hello, Whitney. We want to hear about Charlotte Tilbury. And you binge watch, Ali. Who's everyone's favourite male celebrity? Mine's George, Cleometrix and Brad Pitt. Yeah, we want to know what happened, Whitney. What happened with Charlotte Tilbury? You don't have to be a fraud for being here. We're not exclusively Charlotte Tilbury. And if you look at my most recent eyeshadow review, you will see that I'm probably not in Charlotte Tilbury's favour right now. But I was very annoyed with what she did with her recent eyeshadow palette. And the response that I got. So they offered next day delivery on a spend over a certain amount before COVID took hold. Yeah. We're all ears. We want to know. Well, did they let you down? They didn't deliver. I'm not going to get very far with these eyes because they're too watery. Not only did I not receive next day delivery, I didn't receive my goods at all. And then I had to battle to get your money back. Oh, that's terrible. You shouldn't have to battle to get your money back. I want to watch the How to Think Like a Man 1 and 2. Oh, I haven't heard of that. That sounds like fun. I'm just putting some Pillow Talk mascara, but I'm going to stop messing with my eyes in a minute because they just can't take it. I think I might be running out of this one. I've got a full-size one, but I prefer my travel size. They lied to card provider, and I felt like they did everything they could to delay giving the charge back. What, they said that you'd got the items? Well, I don't blame you for being annoyed with them. I'm very annoyed with Pat McGrath. Not totally annoyed, but yet again, a missing lipstick. I've only ever had about two out of 6 deliveries that have been correct from Pat McGrath. I don't know who does their packing, but they're just so sloppy. And when you contact customer services, they're like, all right, we'll send it. They're not even surprised. It happens so often that they're not surprised that something's missing. I know, it's terrible, isn't it? You've fallen out with Glossy Box. December box was dreadful, and my advent calendar had an empty box in it. Love the products and I miss them, but I cannot buy from them. Whitney, go somewhere like... Are you in the UK, Whitney? I was going to say, get it from Selfridges. Selfridges are always good. And you haven't said that there, a bit late with my order. But I can kind of forgive them. It was a sales and I don't think I got next day delivery. But Selfridges are really good. And they sell Charlotte Tilbury. Or look at some other brands. You know, I think a lot of people now are looking at other brands. I think Charlotte Tilbury, I get the feeling she's not as kind of hands-on anymore. Whereas before she used to come on and do those tutorials, do you remember? And she did all her iconic looks. And she sold me most of the makeup. It was Charlotte. I don't like her in the adverts though. But I loved her YouTube tutorials. It's still supporting the brand, yes, that's true. I suppose I just meant that they wouldn't know that you were. I wouldn't worry about the new palettes anyway because they're double the price. And the colour scheme on the third one that I've just ordered, that Rebecca's done a little review of, it's pretty, but it's not unique, is it, Rebecca? It's not like unique shades. I think the one with the black in it, reschedule. Oh yes, Shana, I forgot you're in the UK, Whitney. Yeah, well, stick with us because we've got other brands as well. I'm not exclusive to Charlotte Tilbury, although you know, I'm known for doing mainly Charlotte Tilbury. I've got most of her collection now, and I'm doing other things. Cult Beauty fast delivery. Cult Beauty let my sister down. Shahina said she couldn't have the religious lockdown, and I meant to put something on my community. Are the new quads smaller? Yes, they are smaller. They are. I did a video. If you have a look at my video, I did last week. It says, please watch before you buy. I went through the size. The new quads are 2.8 grams, as opposed to her other quads, which are 5 grams. Some of them are 5 and some of them are 5.2. Her original quads, which are 5.2 grams, cost £40. And these new quads that are 2.8 grams, which is nearly half the amount, are £42. So they're charging £2 more for half the amount. And I wrote to them and complained, and they didn't really justify why. They just said, we're sorry you were disappointed, and we'll take your comments into consideration for future products. So there was, like Rebecca was talking about, maybe it's something to do with the formula. We were all thinking that maybe there was a reason. We were hoping there was a reason, an explainable reason. And another thing that was suggested, yes, someone was saying it's a new bake formula like Tom Ford. But the thing is, I think if that was the case, then Charlotte Tilbury would have come out and said that by now, because a lot of people have been very annoyed. And they would have said, oh, but hang on, you know, like when I wrote my complaint in, that's because it's a new bake formula. And no one said that. Someone suggested, I don't know if you remember, but I said last week that they look very like the eyeshadow that I don't have, Fallen Angel. But I never got Fallen Angel. And someone else is saying that Fallen Angel was a similar weight and it had this wet to dry texture. And if that's the case, I still don't take back what I said, because if that's the case, then they should have marketed it and explained that. But they've actually let people get angry with the brand. And as I said, I wrote in a complaint that said why I was disappointed and that I felt that I'd been misled, and highlighted all the reasons. And there was no explanation like that. There was no, oh, well, that's because it's baked, or that's because it's a different formula and it's more expensive. Then you'd say, okay, fair enough. But if that is the case, they've not advertised it. Fallen Angel is 2.8. So maybe they've had a stock of old palettes. Like, not the actual powder. But Fallen Angel was a wet, dry formula, wasn't it? I get my Charlotte Tilbury fix through yours and Rebecca's. I cannot badmouth the products I have. They perform well. And the eyeshadows, these eyeshadows are pretty. I just wish they'd been more transparent. And I bought the third one knowing now that I'm being ripped off. And I think a lot of people would still have bought it. I just don't like the thought of, as a consumer, of I'm being deliberately misled. Anyway, so that's the eye look. I'm not going to mess about. It's not completely stunning or anything. I was hoping to do a really kind of full-on New Year's Eve look, but I can't because my eyes are just so sore. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a blush. I did have a blush. I thought I'd use Charlotte Tilbury's The Climax, which is here somewhere. Yes, Unisex Healthy Glow is not discontinued. Having bought 4 bottles and paid duty on them, thinking they were. But that's all right. At least I've got some stock. Now, this is the Climax blush. Now, this is great on all skins, but particularly good if you've got darker skin, because it will show up on your skin. Some of the lighter cheek-to-cheek blushes don't show up on darker skin tones. And very good for a night out, of course. And if you have, again, I always remind people of this, if you have her Instant Look in a palette in Beauty Glow, you already have this blush because it's in Beauty Glow. So that's the climax. And I thought, do you know what? I want to, cannot tell you how many times I've filled up my basket. Do you know what? I've done that. The last couple of days, I've been filling up baskets galore, but not buying anything. I filled up a basket of Paula's Choice because I'm loving her skincare. Absolutely loving it. And I think I need to get that next. And they've got 20% off sale. And I think I can't get all of that. I'll go away and think about it. And I'll come back again. And I'm looking at it. Eventually, I'll decide what I want to get. I'm terrible for filling up baskets and going away. Now, I thought, let's use a different highlighter today. Because I always feel like I'm using the same highlighters. So I got this one out, which is Whisper of Guilt by MAC. And this was a Christmas edition, I think, last year. And I'm gonna wet the brush. Why not? It's New Year's Eve. And if you're in Australia, it's nearly New Year's Eve. Just spray the brush. Whoa, yes. Oh, don't you just love a blingy highlighter? Because I can't do too much on my eyes. Because look, you can see, I look like, that's what happens when my eyes start watering and they get really dry. I look like I've got 50 million lines. You have that highlighter, it's gorgeous. It is, isn't it? And I think they've brought this out a lot in different packaging, haven't they? Different guises, the same one. I'm going to put some down my nose. I'm just going to, why not? Oh, I'm not going out anywhere, but stick some in here. Let's see if I can get away with putting some in the middle of my mobile lid. Yeah. Good old MAC. And it's going to give me a bit more of an eye lift. Right. That's a highlighter. And then I'm going to use this Dior lipstick. And I need a red lip liner. And I'm going to use my YSL one. Anyone else got some really good red lip liners that they can recommend? Because I don't like the Charlotte Tilbury one. It's too pink on me. And of course, you're all going to say the Lisa Eldridge one, which, of course, if I hadn't bought Velvet Ribbon on its own beforehand, I'd have got the set with the liner in it. But this one always comes out, this Charlotte Tilbury one always looks pink when I put it on. This is her red one, which is called Kiss and Tell. So instead, oh, don't say I've not put it back here. Instead, I use my YSL one that I haven't put back in the right place by the looks of it. I'm going to have to use Kiss and Tell. What have I done with it? Unless it's in here. Let's see, I might put it away in here. No. I'll have to use Kiss and Tell. I think you'll see when I use Kiss and Tell. Just look. Oh, I've seen it. It is in here. It was hiding from me. YSL. Number 1. Now, if you're doing a goldy, bronzy eye and black liner and red lip, I think you need to go for a reasonably full coverage foundation for this look, because it's a kind of look, when you're doing a red lip, Daniel always says, make sure you've got a flawless complexion. It's, unless you're smudging out a red lip and doing a stain, it's a sort of lip that you need to have quite a good base on, not just a natural one. You'll love Velvet Ribbon. And as I said, I wish that I'd got the set, but I bought Velvet Ribbon in a set with 2 other lipsticks before she brought out the lip liners. Now, do you see what I mean? I know it's got a bit of foundation on with it, but it still looks pink. Oh, no, this isn't one, is it? This is the YSL. I realised when I started filling it in that it didn't actually look pink. So that must have been the bit that was mixing with my foundation. Charlotte's one definitely looks pink on me. That doesn't mean it's going to look pink on everyone. Oh, it's such a bad influence. I could get the set and have a backup one, yeah. I could. But you know, Stacey, you only get backup of things that you don't have a lot of. And I think I can safely say, I had a thought yesterday of doing a lipstick a day next year and seeing how far through the year I could get without repeating it. Like 1 lipstick a day. Right, I'm posting it on Instagram every day. This is my lipstick of the day. Then making a note which one and not repeating it, and see how far. I reckon I could get through a whole year and not repeat. Now, what's that? 365. No, maybe not that bad. I don't know. Rebecca, if you did that, how many days do you reckon you could do before you had to go back to the original? You held up for the longest time because you got a lot of Pat McGrath lipsticks. Right, so I'm going to put this Dior one on. I'll do it then. I think I could get a long way through the year. I definitely think one of my New Year's resolutions is a no buy for lipsticks, because I really have got a crazy amount of lipsticks now. I don't know how long that will last me, that resolution, but... Hello, Tria. Have I said hello to everyone that's joined? Before I put my lipstick on, and I have to... I can't talk when I'm putting my lipstick on. And you know how difficult that is for me. Stacey, they're going to be, her velvet ribbon's going to be there. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. I'm sure. So don't worry if you can't afford it right now. Yeah, exactly. And Emma, the thing is then it would encourage me to use them all. Like the ones that I've forgotten about. I'm a bad influence. You are a bad influence, but it's all right. I really don't need a bad influence to be naughty anyway. So do you think, has she started to bring them out? I haven't really looked at Lisa Eldridge's site. I daren't. Has she started to bring out the lip liners separately yet? The new cod is very similar to Seduce Glow and Bella Sophia. Rebecca saved me £42. Yeah, it looks quite similar to a lot of things, to be honest. I think the one with the black in it is quite unique. And I actually like, I keep saying this because a few years back I did a few, you know that I said that I used to make up brides. And a couple of people I made up, I remember when I went to meet with them and did the rehearsal, they said, I don't want to look made up. I just want to look pretty. And that, the other palette, the other one of the two that doesn't have the black in it, Star Aura, was it? Or the other one that wasn't Star Aura? That one, I think, is a perfect wedding makeup. That's what I would choose for somebody that says, I don't want to look heavily made up. I just want to look naturally pretty on my wedding day. I would choose that palette because it's just got the most gorgeous pinks in it, but it's eye brightening. But there's something about, I know Charlotte talks about eye brightening and she talks about her Exaggerize. The problem with the Exaggerize is that the particles of glitter are too chunky. So if you come close up, you're going to see glitter particles. But the one that she brought out last week, the lighter one of the two, I think is perfect. That's what I would pick for a bride. It is red. Stacey, don't worry. I tell you what, the Kiss and Tell will look red on you because you've got fair skin. I think the reason that it looks pink on me is because of my skin tone. I think I've seen your skin and you've got quite pale skin. It's going to look red on you. I just think there's certain skin tones it looks pink. And I think, let me just show you quickly before I put the D on, I'll show you what I mean. Let's see if I can demonstrate it. So Stacey's a bit worried now because she said she's ordered Kiss and Tell. Does it not look red? And I just want to say, because it doesn't look red on me sometimes. It looks a bit pink. So if I swatch it here on the back of my hand where I've got a tan, right? I don't know if you can see that, but it looks a bit pink. You probably can't see it, but it does. It looks a little bit pink. But if I swatch it on the palest part of my arm, it looks red. So it'll be fine on you. I'm pretty certain of that. I just think on certain skin tones, it's just not, maybe it's got not deep enough pigment to look red on darker skin tones. All three are boring, Rebecca's saying. I have to say, I do like the lightest one. I can't remember if it's called Star Aura or the other one. Not the one I haven't got yet. I just think, but it's only in certain situations. But I don't think there's anything particularly unique about any of them, to be honest. And I can't see anything that would justify them doubling the price in the formula. Nothing. Apart from the fact that they've stuck the word Hollywood in the... Oh, look at my eyes, they're just getting worse. Anyway, let's get on with this Dior lipstick. This is really creamy, this formula. Now, Stacey, do you see how that red lipstick looks different on me than it does on you? Because of our skin tones. So you'll be fine with the lip liner. So that is... Now, so this was a special edition. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about it, but it's called Shimmery Red. I wouldn't say it's got an awful lot of shimmer to it. But there is shimmer on the side of the lipstick. It's a bit like the Pat McGrath glittery lipsticks. They've got these, and I can't capture it in the camera, but can you see the little snowflakes in glitter on the side of the lipstick? But it's a very creamy formula. Yes, I love a red lip too, and it makes me happy. I still say that Daniel's is my favourite red. Lisa Eldridge red is probably up there with Daniel's. But this is nice, and I've got a YSL red. I'll have to do a video on all my red lipsticks, won't I? You've ordered 2 more shades in the Dior lipsticks. You naughty girl. Good for you. What did you order? It makes you very conscious of yourself when you wear it outside. Why, Tria? You've got a lovely complexion. Why does it make you feel... I'm just interested. I know a lot of people feel self-conscious wearing red lipstick. And I'm just interested to know why. So I'm being nosy. If you don't mind telling me. Is it just that you feel that you stand out too much? You feel conscious wearing any lipstick? Right, okay. So we need to do a video about this, don't we? About feeling conscious wearing lipstick and... what I would suggest you do is put a red lipstick on and wear it round the house first. Because confidence is all about... And feeling self-conscious is all about you. It's not really about other people, as you probably know. And if you're self-conscious about something, you feel like people are looking at you. And they maybe are, because you'll start to kind of put your head down and unwittingly you'll be showing signs of don't look at me kind of thing. But if you walk with your head held high and you feel confident about something, you'll come across as confident. I always go back, it's not quite the same thing, but let me just tell you this. Let me just see what... Are you worried you're going to get it smeared all over yourself? You feel like you're trying too hard? Yes, we can get dressed up for an online New Year chat, of course. I can come on tomorrow evening. I was going to suggest that anyway. Perhaps about... I'll put the time up later, but probably 8:30 or something tomorrow evening. I know that might not be a good time for everybody internationally, but yes, definitely. I was going to say, when I know it's not exactly the same thing, but when I went into, you know, for years and years, I walked, not very far, but I walked out and about. I couldn't walk very far. I had to sit down constantly. And then gradually things started to deteriorate after my son was born. And I went through a period of depression because my pain was getting worse and worse. I was losing sensation in my legs. Anyway, it's a very long story, which I can tell you in more detail another time. But eventually I realised that I had to get myself a wheelchair or a mobility scooter. And I've actually been prescribed a wheelchair. You know, they've given me a wheelchair, but I decided for a number of very good reasons that the physios agreed that it was better that I used a mobility scooter. And when I first went out on my mobility scooter, I felt really self-conscious. It's like everyone's gonna look at me because I'm on a mobility scooter. And I remember thinking, when I first go out on the scooter, I mustn't be with Jack. Because actually the reality is that no one is going to pay me any heed. But Jack will pick up if I feel self-conscious about it. He will notice me being self-conscious. That's the bit that people notice. It's not the scooter. And so I went out and about until I got used to, a bit like I'm saying to you, wear the lipstick till you get used to it. I went out and about and I went in and out of shops until I was used to doing it without Jack before I went with Jack, because I didn't want Jack to see that I had an issue with it. It was just something that Mum needed, and that was the end of that. And it was no big deal. And that way it wouldn't be a big deal to him. And it worked. And that's why I told you that story, because I think it was... And then for a while, I felt invisible. And I told you, I felt like, that everyone's walking around looking at their phone, and I felt invisible, and what does it matter if I don't wear... I might as well not bother putting makeup on because no one can see me. And then I started to wear makeup and I felt confident, and people started to notice me. They weren't staring at me or looking down at my foot. And I remember one woman came up and said, "Did you really get that lipstick to match your scooter?" And I laughed and said, "Yes." So I do think it's about your feeling. And makeup, if you feel confident about wearing makeup, you will be confident and you will exude confidence. If you're not confident, that's why I always say about rules, by the way. When people say, "Oh, I really like," say this, "I really like green, but I'm not sure if I should wear green with my blue eyes." I say, wear it, because if you really like that colour, then you are going to wear it. You know, you're going to wear it with attitude. And when you wear something with attitude, that is the beauty. That's what exudes beauty. It's not what you actually... A lot of it is not what you slap on your face. It's how you feel about what you slap on your face. And like you... hello, Terry. Sorry, I'm so busy chatting, I haven't said hello to you. And like Whitney just said, when I put on a red lip, I feel strong and I feel powerful and I feel like I can take on the world, which is why on a bad pain day, I put on a red lip. Because I want to shrink away when I'm in pain. I don't want to be noticed. I want to hide away and feel sorry for myself. And a red lip stops me doing that. And it makes me say, bleep you to my pain. And not bleep, but I'm just being polite. So it's all about how you feel about makeup. And we could do a whole video about it and a chat about it. But I would definitely start by wearing it in the house. And what's wrong with trying too hard to look good anyway? Ask yourself that. I'm not telling you to answer me. But what's wrong with trying hard to look good? That's not a crime. You're having the religious ceremony on the 3rd. Well, that's good. So you've avoided all the bank holidays, which is good in terms of them celebrating their anniversary. I'm just touching up some of my concealer because of my watery eyes. That's great. Right, let me just go through and just see if I've... The red lip is for the warrior in us. It really is, Terry. The attitude does matter. The Chanel ones. Which ones are a dupe? Hang on. Oh, don't worry, Terry. You're late because you didn't set your alarm. I'm just honoured that you set your alarm to come and watch me. Gorgeous pink and purple in the Dior lipsticks. Don't show me the deep purple because I'll be wanting to buy it. Your son says, where are you going? When you're wearing red lipstick. We'll have to come up with an answer for him. Do you know what? I think when we do our online live for New Year, we should all put on the make. We'll have a get ready with me, get ready with Ali M, and we'll put on the makeup that we really love but feel self-conscious about. To be honest, I don't feel self-conscious about putting anything on me. I'm going to be honest now. I don't. Because I love wearing makeup. And I really don't care what people think. Unless they think, oh, God, that's badly blended. I care about that. But, I mean, because I really don't think at the end of the day most people care what you got on your face. But I think that everybody should put on what they normally feel self-conscious about wearing, because we're not going out and we're all friends together, and we can also find a way of sharing the photographs in a private way, maybe, or putting it on tag Ali Pallies, or if you're too self-conscious, you can just DM me a picture of your makeup that you love to wear but feel too self-conscious to wear. You're scared of your Pat McGrath Mega Palette. Right, let's all get out for tomorrow. I will confirm the time. Everybody get out their palettes and their lipsticks that they're scared of. Because if you've bought them, you must love them, but you're scared of them. Get them out. And I might actually put on my makeup beforehand, and then I might talk you through. I'm going to think about how I do this. Talk you through why you're scared of it, what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. I'll be putting pics up of the new Dior shades. Sorry in advance. Yeah, I know. That purple, I bet you I'm going to love it. Mind you, I have bought a couple of purple lipsticks. They're on their way. I say I don't have to go anywhere to wear any makeup. Exactly. My other half says, well, who are you going on a date with? And I said, you should know by now. Don't need to go on a date with anyone to put my makeup on. Right, I'm going to go because my eyes are streaming. And it's lack of sleep. But I will confirm the time, so look out on my community. I'll have a think about the right time to do it, so that we capture people in as many countries as possible, but I'm not interfering with bang on New Year. And we'll do a kind of get ready for New Year, and you can all bring it, you can all use your palettes that you're scared of, and we can all just have fun getting ready in our palettes that we're scared of. All right, yes, thank you, Shahina. Remember to like the live, ladies. Thank you. See you all tomorrow. Love you all. Mwah.